Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Time to Roll's Campaign 1. My name is Zach Browning. I'm the Dungeon Master and guest host of this. We are unfortunately missing Austin tonight, and Nate may be joining us later. I would have canceled tonight just simply because of how important the story is, but with the idea of Nate potentially making it, I went ahead and ran it. That's the whole reason I canceled last weekend. That and it was scheduling conflicts, sound issues. There's a whole lot of bullshit going on last week. But anyways, we're here. We're going to get into it pretty quickly here. Hopefully the my lovely players aren't being degenerates as I unmute, although we expect that by now. But when it comes to announcements, there's not a whole lot going on. There are, if you go to TimeToRole.com, there are spring like waterproof or like rainproof jackets now with the Time to Roll logo on it. So if you want to go check that out, sounds good to me. They're pretty high quality and hopefully the pricing isn't too expensive. I don't really have a lot of choice whenever I'm using basically the third party reseller I'm using now. So unfortunately can't set my prices, but you know, those are really high quality and and if you want to support us, it's the best way to do it. Anyways, let's get into it. Why do I not have chat open here? Did it? Oh well. Let me go ahead and switch over and we will get into this. Wow. Silence for once in my life.
X.
Scandal.
Scandalous.
You love us.
All right, a little bit of recap, and then we'll get right into it because there is a lot to get into. Last we left off, you guys are traveling back from your time in Ebrax. All of you decided to chart your course going back to Artemis, the city of peace, and also the capital city of Sylvania, so that way you could pick up any payment that you could from Leon, as well as just try to figure out what to do next. Unfortunately, about halfway through your trip, I believe it was Vaten, gained information that Artemis had been attacked via a pseudo sending spell via a seabird that he wrangled along with Ori. We were able to find out that the city had been attacked by a blue dragon. On flying your way through the skies, heading south towards the city, you started to see smoke clouds pop up from nearby settlements and cities and towns, all with seemingly blue flames and blue crackling marks being etched into the ground. Once you got close to Artemis, you found yourself being attacked by a strange person on dragonback, specifically on the back of an ancient dragon. Your boat was then attacked, and you fought against him bravely. Alara polymorphing him into a rat, and then eventually he was able to escape with the help of his ancient blue dragon friend. All of you feeling dinged up from the battle, decided to try to get a hold of Rosalor, the assistant of Leon, and at which Rosalor told you that Leon was in some form of comatose state and was not waking up. He had asked you to meet him at the Royal Library, and that's where we ended the session prior. All of you are currently floating down on the small, yet well-made air boats that Captain Newgate provided to you. Captain Newgate, I believe, he came with you and sent the Lily, the ship that all of you are on, off south for repairs due to the impending attack that was held on your boat from that mysterious man. As you guys find your way down into the streets of Artemis, there's carnage everywhere. You see dead people. There's all manner of there's all matter of, as gross as it is, body parts spewed out. You could tell that. Well, let me pull up some ambiance. Stream is up, by the way, for sound. You hear just fire and moaning and groaning, but you do see off in the distance as the boats touch down into the streets of the once proud royal district of Artemis. You see domes, magical domes, seemingly constructed throughout the city, and you notice them from the sky. But as you land on the ground, you notice that these things are huge. They're best comparison I could give them is the dome that all of you saw from the aviation sanctuary in Ebrax. It was that level of size. These domes seem to be expanding out of nowhere, and one of them is currently coming from the Royal Library. Much smaller. This one greener than the others, and seems to have laces of gold shooting up through them. All of you, actually, I'm going to say, to kick it off, first roll in 2 weeks. Can I have Vaten make a perception check, please?
You most certainly can, if I had remembered to actually open my character sheet. Give me 1 second to make that happen.
I'm currently pulling out my dice tray because I forgot to do that as well. So
yeah, I just pulled dice out too. But...
Oh,
there's a private roll, but
send it to GM.
That's fine. That works. 22 is
22.
Yeah, 22 is the roll. You're aware of, due to your passive perception and just the overall arching distress of what's going on, you do know that there are multiple blue dragons within the vicinity. Gauge on how old they are, their power, their strength, how large they are. It's hard to tell. With a 22, you do notice wormlings, almost the size of Aragon. I'm blanking on Squirtle's character's name right at this very second. Aiko, thank you. Similar to Aiko's dragon Aragon. Flying through the air, and it seems like they're not necessarily looking down, but it seems like they're trying to catch things in the air, like birds and other small creatures that are flying away. But you do hear... Do you speak Draconic?
I do.
You hear in Draconic, muffled, it's quite a distance away, a voice, low guttural, kind of sounds like they're gloating. And the only thing you can glean with a 22 is showed them. But that's all you can really hear. And you hear other random sounds, and you can hear what sounds like a conversation in Draconic between what seems like maybe 2 or 3 dragons conversing, but you can't hear them from where you're at. And they seem to be north of where you're looking, which is towards the library. But their dragons are big enough and loud enough that their normal conversations would be like any human screaming at the top of their lungs. But
got it. This one hears dragons, great ones conversing. This one cannot hear what they are saying, but
Can I use my big bunny ears to listen in?
yeah, roll a perception check.
Isn't she part dragon?
She is dragon blood, but not
7.
You can hear low mumblings, and like
They're not
you can
strong.
hear there's so much going on in this area. Now we're still on the boat page, so we'll switch to the overall city map for you guys, just to remind you what the city looks like currently. Currently, you guys are here. You've landed in this section. So if you want to put down a token to mark where you are, just one, that's fine. Where you're hearing Vaten, where you're hearing these voices come from, seem to be down over the wall in front of you, round here. And they seem to be conversing. You do see you do see the royal library, and it, oddly enough, there's pools of lava, pulling, just rivers of lava, honestly, forming around it. But as it touches the dome, and you can see this with your passive perception, looking at it, as it touches the dome, it's as if the lava is disintegrated. It dissolves into nothing. Now, I would like all of you, and I will roll for Ori and Beep, since they are not here currently. Make a group stealth check for me. And before that happens, Ander, I also have to roll for Ander. Ander will cast Pass Without a Trace. So, plus 10 to all stealth rolls.
Oh boy.
Beep's.
Just 25. Sorry.
I gotta pull up Beep's character sheet.
Oh my god, I rolled it.
Sorry, I missed mine. It's 29.
29? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let me grab Beep. Let me grab Ori. And let me grab Ander.
The stealthiest one there is like, hey everybody, look at me.
You have to
You
add 10 to
rolled
that,
it.
though.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's 20, but
20, okay. Let's see here. 9 plus. Beep is stealthy, luckily. He has a plus 7 to stealth. That's a 26 for Beep. And, 19 for Ori. Man, even when he's not here, he's rolling good. Although his stealth is not great, but that's still a 33 for Ori. So, and then Ander, not so great. He has a plus 7 to stealth as well. Ander rolled a 23. So
That leaves me and Thaddeus as the loud ones with 20.
yeah. So
Okay.
overall, you
and
feel
I can become quiet very quickly.
Overall, you feel like you're doing well. You're stealthing fairly well, and you feel like you're. Yeah, you
Are
feel
we on the ground?
you are on the ground currently. The boats, as they touch, you see them. You heard them, but they're now shrunk down into the cube that they were once held, and an Ander has picked those up and put them in his bag of holding. But you're on the ground currently. You're looking in front of you. The Royal Library is in front of you. Who is holding Leon's sending stone? Is that Elka, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, it's me.
You hear a ding in your head, which is how sending stones work, by the way. Learned that the other day. You hear a ding in your head, and it's coming from the sending stone. You gonna pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay. On the other end, you hear the voice of Rosalor Hillish, the assistant to Leon. You hear him say, I don't know where you are. I hope you're okay. If you've made landfall, do watch out for dragons. I know this is probably stating the obvious, but they're everywhere. Once you get to the Royal Library, send me a message back on this stone, and I will open up the barrier for you.
Okay. I mean, we're basically there, right?
Yeah.
You're probably 400 or 500 feet away.
All right. I'm gonna relay that message to everybody. Like, all right, let's go.
Okay, so all of you move forward. Vaten, he's not.
Yes.
You can still hear me.
I'm
Good.
here.
Okay, you're just not on your camera.
Yep.
As you guys start to creep forward, you hear wing beats, large ones. As you get closer to the library, you look to your left, and you see a blue dragon, smaller than the one that attacked you on the ship.
Mhm.
From your guess, just from all the times you've maybe dealt with a dragon, it's about the same size as the one that you fought outside of town, the bronze one that you fought when Alara was missing. You could probably gauge this is either this is getting to be an adult dragon or is an adult dragon. It's kind of looking It's kind of looking in the general direction of the Royal Library and like baring its teeth. And with your passive perception, you hear it mutter, "That damn fairy." But it's looking kind of in the general direction of the Royal Library.
Is it? It does not seem to have sensed us, though, right?
Currently, you're undetected. Correct.
Okay. I'm going to be paying very close attention to that,
Okay.
and as soon as it seems like, oh, but the plan was relayed about opening the dome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long ears. Do we know if the dome opens a small section or if the entire one must collapse?
I don't know, but I can ask.
Do so. There is another great one over there that is regarding the library.
Okay. So I'll go. Hey, there's another adult dragon out here. Seems to be looking towards the library. Will it be safe for you to drop the shield, or should we wait?
It takes a second for him to respond, but you should just be able to step through the barrier. It doesn't work as in the barrier opens like a doorway. It acts as if somebody is allowed inside of it. If you touch it and you don't tell me you're coming up, you'll be disintegrated.
Well, we are ready now to
Very well.
come inside.
And all of you feel like a weird warm glow, like a warm pulse come over your skin, or scales in Vaten's case. And you look down, your arms are all of a sudden emanating the same kind of color of the dome. It's not changing the color of your skin, it's just a very light hue. Please make a stealth check now as you go to walk in, but with disadvantage. Keep in mind with the +10.
Did you see the note I put in there? Do you still want me to do that?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Although you are still emanating a glow. So I'm going to need you to roll stealth regardless.
Okay.
Okay. That's for the people that aren't here, and Ander, that's an 11, and a 13. So
30. I had a 36.
28 for Beep, 30 for Ander, and a 25 for Ori. Let's see if the dragon sees you. Smells you is what he's going off of, which he rolls with advantage on that. Oh boy. As you all go to you're kind of at the corner of a building trying to run in. You're probably about 30 feet away. You see your skin start to glow. Vaten, and at this point, all of you hear heavy footsteps. You recognize these are dragon footsteps coming out of the lava.
Footsteps, right?
Yeah, and you look over your left shoulder, and that same adult blue dragon, who just rolled a natural 20 on his perception check, looks at all of you. Fresh meat. And he's going to start rushing towards you. You're about 30 feet away.
Sorry, I literally just fell over.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I was trying to get back here.
You fell?
Were you running through your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you need
Wool
a paramedic?
socks and a slick floor. No, I've had much harder falls. Don't worry.
Okay, but the dragon is now starting to actively... He's about 100 feet away from you. And he's starting to full charge at you. Mouth open.
I will go ahead and cast an entangle.
Okay.
At the max range of 90 feet. You said he was how far away? Sorry.
He's about 100 feet away from you, but he's closing quickly.
Okay. Yeah, so I will cast it such that he has to cross the entire 20-foot square.
Okay, and is that that just happens, right? That just reduces the speed?
spell save DC of 16 to be restrained by the entangling plants.
Okay.
And it is difficult terrain in the meantime.
Gotcha. So that's a strength saving throw, right? Yeah.
Yep.
He rolled a 26. So
Yeah,
he makes the
I
save.
did not expect that part.
But he does
still...
get half speed on his feet as he realizes that he's trying to walk through vines. You see his wings start to flap. But now all of you are about 5 feet from the dome, and as he goes to take off, you see the lightning start to come from his breath. But you're able to just get into the dome as he's firing it off, and you enter the dome outside of the library, and you see this lightning beam just smack into the side of the dome, and then you just watch it dissolve away like Thanos snapped it. It goes right back to his mouth, and he just kind of looks around, and then he storms off, and you just see him sit down and lay down and stare at you through the dome.
And I don't know if I know this or not, but can we shoot through the dome at him?
You can certainly try.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to shoot at him with my
Okay.
our crossbow.
He's at this point. He has stopped. How big is the entangled area? Is it 20 feet square? Okay. He would stop and lay down right before, like right on the other side of it, and just sit down.
Right.
Yeah, closest to you guys.
Yeah.
And
okay, so I'll just drop that.
And he's just staring at you, kind of with a half
Oh, I can't drop it.
half dragging grin on his face.
Does anybody know if I can shoot through this thing without killing myself?
He's about 60 feet away from you, just so you're aware.
He can't get in, so it's probably best just to leave him for now.
I was thinking of dragon soup, but yes, you're probably right. I'm going to put down my arms.
Vodten, you notice as all of you turn around to go towards the Royal Library, you notice 2 more heads pop up out of the lava of dragons of equal size, walk up to him and lay down right next to him and just smile.
Too much fun.
Anyways, you make your way over to the Royal Library. Immediately, you see 2 humanoid men, probably both around 6 foot to like 6'3". You look at them; they're either half elf, elvish, or human. You can't tell because they have they're donned in full platinum looking, very similar to the armor that Elka wears. Very like full but it's all full plate, helmets on, and as you walk through, you see them look at you, and one of them kind of stares at you. I don't know how you got through here.
We're friends of Leon and whatever his helper's friend is.
Clearly you are. You would have been disintegrated right on the spot. Very well. We are going to have to ask Rosalor to come up here and get you because there's important people in this library. And I just need to vet who's coming through. Doing my job.
Understood.
Important.
Yes. Did you say pardon?
Said how important.
Oh, that's classified.
I mean, we've been requested by the king before.
You see a kind of a nod, like a head tilt. Looks at Ori. Looks at you, the tiefling.
Don't judge my friend and me.
I'll get him. And he'll turn around and the other... Yeah, Thaddeus and... Honestly, yeah, Zane, because of who you are. Make a history check for me, please.
History check.
That's not terrible. Let's go see what my modifier is. Oh, it's really good, actually. That's
God, I'm rolling for crap tonight.
10 and then
22.
22. Thaddeus, you grew up kind of in an area that is pretty distant from Artemis. However, Zane, just due to the nature of who you are and why you're traveling the world, you would recognize, as you take a look closer at the armor these people are wearing, you see a little insignia on the shoulder that is kind of like a looks to be like a hammer, in a smithing hammer, and then behind it seems to be like an etching of the sun. And you would recognize this emblem as an emblem that belongs to the Paladins of Artemis. And you would immediately recognize that both of the people that are guarding this library are generally people that are meant to protect the king and queen.
Okay.
But it takes a second, and eventually the not so familiar, because you've only seen him a few times here and around, the image of Rosalor Hillish steps out. Tall elven man, probably can't tell with elves how old they are generally. If you were to take a guess, he looks younger, middle-aged, so equivalent to humans around 30, 35. Slender face, has a scar above his eye that looks fairly fresh. And he's currently wearing green and gold robes. And he steps up. Oh, it's good to see all of you in one piece, Captain. And he'll look back to Ander, who's kind of sitting there whistling to himself, still kind of looking back, eyeballing the dragons. Oh. Hey, Rosalor. Huh. Good to see you.
Can we shoot through this stuff at those dragons?
I wouldn't advise it.
Okay, thank you.
Especially if they're non-magical, it'll just kind of disintegrate.
And if it's magical?
There's a chance he'll get through from the inside. From the outside, no chance. To be honest with you, I don't even know how this barrier works. My master put it up. Well, right before he fought that giant dragon. Anyways, this is not a good place for us to talk. I see you're in the capable hands of the good captain, and he'll kind of like tilt his head at Ander. But come along, it's okay. And he'll like pat both of the armored men on the shoulders. You can let them through. And he guides all of you into the Royal Library. As you step in, the Royal Library is not the same from the last time you remember it. Last time you were there, you saw open halls of marble flooring and marble pillars with books from floor to ceiling. And as you step in, it is completely different. And I'll show you what that looks like. First thing you see in front of you is what seems to be a receptionist desk, and a wall behind him, and a wall behind it. Rosalor looks at all the. The library changes during wartime. This is the invention of my master, and I would advise not wandering, if at all possible. And as you step in, you are greeted with trees sprouting from the ground from from stone. You look past in front of you a pond that has what seemed to be a never-ending stream. Rossler will look at all of you. I wouldn't wander because I'm not allowed to wander, and I've known my master for 200 years now, and he's never let me go anywhere by myself. The library changes during wartime or whenever, I guess, the master is unconscious or dies, I assume. The magic, I'm guessing this is magic that he created as a failsafe, maybe? I don't know. All I know is that it's well defended, and it's probably the best place to be right now in the city. I need to warn all of you, as you sit next to now the pond, my master, your patron, boss, or whatever you want to call him, friend, is in a comatose state that kind of baffles all of the healers in the capital. We only have, I guess, hypothesis on why he is the way he is, but none of those seem to be bearing any fruit. We've tried greater restoration spells, we've tried heal spells, we've tried all matter of high-level clerical healing magic, and he just doesn't seem to be coming to. I fear that he may have overextended himself during the protection of the city. Currently he's being held below the library, along with the king and queen, along with a few other important dignitaries and a few emissaries from different countries that just happen to be unlucky enough to be here during this time. The reason why you're here in the first place and not somewhere else is that it seems my master trusted all of you. And
Yeah.
I'm willing to honor that. In fact, I know you are essentially sellswords. So here's your payment, and he'll put down 7 bags of gold down next to, there's a little table sitting next to this pond. And he put, here's 2,500 gold each. This is payment for whatever job he sent you on last.
One I would like to personally smack him for, but circumstances dictate that's not a good thing right now.
And you just kind of get a inquisitive look from Rosalor. I don't know if I want to ask.
I'll tell you.
Sure. And by the way, this is what he looks like.
I will recant our tales of heading to Ebrax to see my family and then deliver a monster heart to a fucking vampire who was an asshole.
You'll just see him kind of like blink a little bit and definitely do the face swoosh into the hand bit. So he's still dealing with old friends, I see.
I wouldn't call that man a friend.
Oh, he was a friend to Leon, apparently, at one point in his life. I can't speak as to why or honestly, whatever reason he would have to do with him. As far as I was concerned, that Torben, that vampire, was sealed off forever ago.
Yeah, you can thank my friend Archer for that.
My uncle isn't the smartest around.
I'm starting to see connections where I didn't realize there were. Things are starting to make sense as to why my master trusted all of you so quickly. Your archers...
Tobin had a thing for me.
That doesn't surprise me. He's a seductive type. Your archer's niece?
I think it's because I'm cute.
Through marriage. He married my uncle.
Oh, yes, I'm aware of Elkis. He visits the city every once in a while. I did not realize they were married. Huh. Or you know. I'm willing to... I've gained permission from the king to show you where Leon is. I do need to warn you. There's a lot of hurt people where I'm taking you. The king being one of them. And there's... guards will be everywhere. And he'll kind of, like, glance at all of you.
Do you require additional healers?
That would be helpful.
Could be of some assistance on that front.
That would be helpful. There's plenty of members of noble families and, like I said, emissaries and dignitaries, and honestly, just random people that just happen to be close by. We brought them in here during the attack, but there's some that are mortally wounded, and there's nothing we can really do for them. We've tried to stabilize them and make their time, however much time they have left, as painless as possible. But there's some that can be healed. The king currently, and he'll look kind of at all of you. The king did battle with Leon, not with Leon, but alongside Leon. And he unfortunately lost a limb.
I can help with that.
Many people have tried.
No, I can help with that.
He's good. Let me tell you, this man can make a spitter of a rapier.
That's a weird way to phrase that. I'm an artificer. I can make him a new limb.
That probably wouldn't be shut down. We've tried casting all sorts of...
I just require materials.
We've tried casting all sorts of regeneration type magic on the king, but for some reason the wound from the dragon they fought aren't closing up very easily. We've been able to stop the bleeding, but nothing seems to be growing back like they normally would. Thaddeus and Zane, make another history check for me.
Oh, that's even better. 27.
I'm just...
Thaddeus, you have general knowledge of who the king and queen are because you grew up in Sylvania, but you also kind of grew up outside of the... Yeah, well, all over, to be fair, but also outside of the realm of really the reach of the king and queen. You probably know this because of any forest that elves inhabit generally don't really get touched by any royal hands. They're generally seen as city-states or other communities that are individually governed by themselves. But Zane, you would know just from study, from being in boring meetings with your mother, to just hearing talk about Sylvania, you would know that the king is the head paladin of the Paladins of Artemis, and you would also know that the queen is a very, very talented, older, elvish woman who has been a cleric of the Mine's blanking right now. Where's my pantheon? You know that she's a cleric of Eldath, the Peacebringer, and she's been a cleric for many, many, many years now. And so hearing that her magic wouldn't work on regenerating is concerning. But Rosalor looks at all of you. Now, the king has requested that I brief you on what happened on his behest due to his inability to sit up for very long. Apparently, the amount of blood he lost has made him weak, and he has a hard time keeping his head off the pillow. But I suppose I should let you know what has happened. About 2 weeks ago, it was a normal day here in the royal city, or in the royal capital. We were going about our daily business, and all of a sudden what seemed to be a sunny day turned into a rainy day. Clouds started to form on the horizon, and with it came thunder and lightning.
Was it very, very frightening?
It was, actually.
Galileo.
Scaramouche.
How do you know my uncle? Anyways. According to the king, he was out on his balcony, sipping tea with his wife, and a dot appeared in the sky that seemed to be coming at a speed that was not normal. Then everything went blank for the king. He can't remember what had happened, but all he remembers is waking up to his paladins and his wife, the queen, doing battle with a large man. In fact, apparently he was as large as our Minotaur friend here. Scad in dragon-like armor.
Yeah, we encountered that guy.
So he was still around, as we feared.
He wasn't doing so hot after he left us.
That's encouraging to hear. Anywho, he woke up to find his paladins being cut down one by one by this man. And he was able to get up and face this man by himself, and drive him off to a certain degree. Unfortunately, as you probably saw, the castle is not in a great shape anymore. Most of that was destroyed by that man's onslaught. I do not know who this man is. The armor he wore, I have no knowledge of. And the dragon he rode seemed to care about him as if they were best friends. And they fought the king valiantly, and the king fought valiantly, and eventually he just disappeared. And we were, at that point, Leanne and I were notified, and that's when all hell broke loose.
Was it a little man that was sitting on top of the dragon?
Well, there was a large man sitting on top of the dragon. That's the person who the king was fighting.
All right.
The king decided that it would probably be best to evacuate the castle. And as the evacuation started, the clouds cleared. And with it, hurricanes came. All of us were taken off guard, especially Leon, by what we saw. A dragon so large that it canceled out the sun. Its wings probably spanned anywhere from 700 to maybe 1,000 feet long. This is bigger than any dragon I'd ever seen in my life. And the reason why the city is as it is now is because of one dragon breath. And
Interesting.
in the blink of an eye, we found ourselves, which I now realize, going face to face with a sleeping giant. Something from the fracture. One of the original creations. The dragon that attacked this city is named Oldragas. He's known as the Raging Sunderer. And he's one of the great worms of the fracture. As to why he is awake and attacking a city, we are unaware. This dragon was last seen a millennia ago, when the fracture started. He was used by some of the gods as basically a spearhead to start the fracture, along with 3 of his brethren, the other great worms. He was once thought lost to history. No one had seen him for, again, over a millennia. And then he ended up here on our doorstep. Leon and King Xavier were able to regroup, and along with the help of myself and Tomeskeeper Thornick and a few of our brave paladins and the Queen herself, with healing us during this battle, were able to maybe stand toe-to-toe with this beast. Although I have my doubts. The beast seemed sluggish after it used its one breath attack. And it seemed like it wasn't 100%. And its claw cleaved off the king's arm. Leon, my master, was able to fend it off, and while protecting what was left of the populace. But almost as sudden as the dragon appeared, it disappeared. And flew west. We sent notification to Valencia and the Queen of the Empire. But there's been no word from her since. This was a week ago. I've now gained information that towns all around us have been attacked by dragons, and farm fields burned to cinders, and livestock dragged off to who knows where. And currently our chain of command is as thin as ever. We're barely holding on. So with all that in mind, I will take you down to see Leon. He won't wake up. I mean, maybe he will. If we're lucky, eventually. But the king has some knowledge to impart to you. Potentially some tasks that you may be capable of doing. I honestly don't know, because I have enough on my hands. And at this point, all of you look around. And peeking into other rooms, you see refugees. This area seems to be cleared. But as you start to look around, you start to notice more things in disarray. More than they already are, because this is not how the library normally looks. But you look around and you see blankets being stacked up. You see barrels of water tipped over. You start to look and you see children crying, some of them without parents. And it's pretty fucking horrendous, all things considered. And
Will
go ahead.
will we be safe to rest here tonight? This one would like to know if he should maintain some magical energies.
Beds can be arranged. It's not going to be comfy. And he looks right at Ori.
Anything's better than nothing.
Right now, the majority of the library, those that aren't trapped and or not under my control, are the rooms that are under my control currently are being used as, well, housing for those that were lucky enough to escape in here before the barrier was raised. I've been told by Tome's Keeper Thornick that the southwest of the city is under his control currently, and he has barriers that he's raised himself, and he's currently doing what he can to ease the minds of those that he's been able to save. If I were to estimate, our city's population is probably half, but that's all unconfirmed. None of us have left the barrier since it was raised.
Oh, it's bad out there.
I've looked out the door.
Oh, I've seen it from the sky.
Did you perchance see any groups of people that were not within a barrier?
No.
Then it's as I feared. Okay, well, our best bet right now is to hear what the king has to say, since apparently he really wants to see all of you. But I'll leave that up to him. You will all be under close supervision, of course, and that's out of my control. The paladins are very well, they treat their king as if he were a father, and they protect him with their lives. So
should they?
Yes, he's a good man, and I think it would be beneficial to all of you to at least hear him out and see what he has to say. Now, obviously, this isn't your problem. This is me speaking candidly. I wouldn't blame you if you heard him out what he had to say, and basically told him to, well, as they say, fuck off. But
This one has more decorum than that.
Indeed.
well,
Not always, but yes.
the point I am trying to make is I wouldn't blame you if you just turned right around and escaped the city and never came back. But with the lack of resources we have in terms of manpower and quickly running out of provisions, any help we can get would be helpful, and thanked graciously.
Even if we ran now, we'd have to fight this eventually.
That is true.
How are provisions? You mentioned they are low.
We have enough to last everyone in this library, including yourselves. I'd have to look myself, but probably another 2 weeks. And as you saw, anytime anybody tries to approach this dome, there's dragons breathing down their necks. So trying to leave is doable for someone like myself who has the ability to go unnoticed, but I'm only one man. And a lot of the people in here are not powerful. We only have maybe half the paladins left. To my knowledge. Maybe some are still alive out there doing their duty and protecting the civilians. But we're kind of at a stalling point. A rock and a hard place, as they say. But
I will speak for myself, but possibly for the group. I think most of us would be willing to help you, but there's generally a cost, and we'd like to make sure that as our goodness is received, it is compensated.
the king brought that up, knowing who you are and what you've done, and seeing as you almost single-handedly took care of about half of the short-armed gang by yourself.
Three quarters.
He is aware.
About 1.5 arms worth.
And you'll just see him kind of laugh. First time you've seen a smile crack on his face since you've seen him. He'll look at all of you. Compensation will be no issue. Just because we're running out of food does not mean the king's coffers have ran dry.
Even though the castle's gone?
Oh, some of it was destroyed, for sure, but not all of the country's resources are kept in one place. Specifically, our gold reserves are definitely not kept all in the castle. But hear him out. See what he has to say. If you decline, that's your prerogative. There's going to be no ill will. But I get the sense that the king is just trying to keep on a brave face. So keep that in mind when you see him. And well, it's up to him, but any room for pleasantries have gone out the window due to the fact that he can hardly speak himself. So just don't do anything that could get you cut up by a paladin and you'll be fine.
You said it was his arm, right? That
Yes.
he lost?
His right arm, yes.
Okay. Good to know.
Could replace it with the left arm.
Why would never mind. Follow me, and he'll
Plotting.
he'll put out his hand, and you'll see the center pond. You'll see the water start to drain as he puts out his hand, and a staircase starts to show as it drains. Had never get used to using that magic, but here we are. And you just see him start to slowly drain, and then as it gets down to the bottom, you see him lift his hands up, and a ball of water shoots up out of what seems to be the entryway, and just goes right above where your heads would be as you go down the stairs, and just stays there, animated, spinning. After you. I'd hurry. This doesn't last very long.
Yeah, I'll start making my way down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walking fast.
I'll follow.
Don't you start this magic. Not here. Fucking hell. Anyways, you guys make your way down there.
Hey, it's a heavy situation.
I'm
We need
aware.
some sort of humor going on.
I'm aware. And you find yourself in the bottom chamber. Currently here. Bottom corner. You walk in immediately, you're stopped by paladins, and as that happens, you see Rosalor almost as he walks down the stairs. He's not exactly walking. He's like kind of floating down the stairs. Just maybe a good 6 inches off the ground. And as his feet land, he puts his feet down. Gentleman is okay there with me. And you see one of the paladins look at you. He looks like an old man, probably 70-something-year-old human man, white beard. See, I apologize. Just, as you know, everything is wound tight here, but continue on.
Take it easy, big guy. We're here to give the king a hand, literally.
Zach, can you drag me in? I can't.
Yeah, sure. Do 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 do. Fuck you guys. So there's Beep, and there's Ander, and then there's Thaddeus.
Don't forget Laura.
Laura's already there.
Oh, forget her icon change.
Oh yeah, all of you look around, and it's pretty musty down here. It seems like this area has not been used in a long time of the library. But you do see guards, paladins, city guards, the ones that are people that are not adorned in the armor that the paladins wear, patrolling the hallways and just kind of all giving you a side glance. But as soon as they see Rosalor, they kind of just continue on looking around. Rosalor will just say, "Follow me." And if any of the paladins give you any issues, just kindly let them know that you are friends of the king and mine. And Ander will kind of like smirk at him and start just walking. Are you invisible right now, Thaddeus?
I just went invisible.
Rosalor would have absolutely noticed this, given his passive perception. Are you trying to do this sneakily, or are you just going to flip the hood up and go invisible?
I'm just going to flip the hood up and go invisible.
Rosalor, that's ill-advised. Remember I said don't do anything that could get yourself cut up by a paladin?
They have to see me first.
Just, please.
All right.
And Anders already past earshot. He's kind of waltzing down the hallway. And Rosalor will come along then and start trying to catch up to Ander. Mr. Newgate, I swear. You guys obviously get the sense that they know each other. But all of you making your way up that way.
Downtown.
And they guide you up the hallway to the left. And as you start to look, as you go down the hallway, to the left is one door. You peek in, it seems to be a war room of sorts, a makeshift one. And to your right are all sorts of side rooms and what seem to be cots laid out, with most of them empty currently. But as I'll just drag all of you. As you finally make your...
Somehow went missing there from that pack. I don't know how.
Did I really? Huh?
Whoa.
Rosalor will...
Time travel.
Rosalor will step up, and the doors... Oh, it shows the door open, and the door is closed, and he'll kind of knock. My liege, the group of adventurers that you were so excited to meet are finally here. Leon's charges? And you'll hear from the room a female voice chime in. We'll send them in. Probably best to keep your voice down. The king is sleeping. Yes, my lady. And he will open up the door and step in. And all of you, in front of you, you see a thin, probably average height, 5'6", 5'7", elvish woman, silver hair, bright blue eyes. As you look at her closer, you notice that one eye, her left eye is emerald green, and her right eye is sapphire blue. She looks over all of you not in a pompous way or anything of the sort, but almost in a motherly looking way. And she'll look at all of you. Hello.
Hello, my lady.
I understand you've been brought down here to see Master Leon and my husband. My apologies. Introductions are in order, and she'll kind of like bow her head. My name is Shira Oranan Sirus. Also, I happen to hold the title of Queen of this great nation. And she'll turn around, and you'll see a human man, probably in his early 30s, maybe late 30s, peeking into his 40s. It's hard to tell. He'll look up and kind of lean up, missing his right arm, in more of a white and red and gold robes. Short brown hair, fine cut brown beard with a mustache, amber eyes. You look over. Hello. Sorry. I see all of you have made it here better than most. My name is King Xavier Sirus. And I'm the one that called you to this, sorry, Rosalor shit hole. All of you in front of you, as soon as you walk in, you see a very familiar face of head librarian Leon. Currently eyes closed, tucked very neatly into the bed. His long blonde hair stretching down underneath the sheets, sleeping. You see his chest slowly start to raise and fall. He is breathing. Vaten, you would notice that it is a shallow breath with your passive perception. Not breathing like a normal person, but
but it doesn't seem like there's any immediate danger of him just conking out, right?
By the looks of it, I mean, you can make a medicine check if you want to inspect him closer.
Yeah,
but
just from what I can tell with where I'm at and everything, I don't want to like go over and inspect him or anything.
You could clearly tell he's in some sort of comatose state.
Okay.
You've never seen anybody be in a comatose state, but knowing the meaning of it and knowing what it entails, he looks like he's asleep, but not exactly in the healthiest way. The queen will kind of like walk over and sit on this bed.
Okay. Thaddeus.
Yes.
Thaddeus is going to move forward. He's going to kneel on one knee and put his head down and say, "Hello, Sir King Thaddeus Sterling, from the Elmwood Forest in the House of Auburn, at your service."
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Sterling. Or Starling. No need for pleasantries at this time, but thank you for your service, and I hope your father is doing well.
Different story. Let's just talk about the future here.
Very well. Insight check for him. I see. Very well. And he'll kind of like sit up, and immediately the queen will reach across. Dear, you can't be sitting up like this. Nonsense. These people have come a long way to come speak to me, and I'm the one that requested them. They can at least see my face. and he'll stand up and sit up. And as he sits up, you realize this guy's tall. He's probably sitting. It's hard to gauge from someone just sitting up in his bed, but he could be anywhere as tall as 6'8", 6'9". Tall, very tall for a human man. And he'll kind of like, as all of you know, our great city has been attacked. I did my best to ward off the dangers, but as you can see, as he points at the nub of his right arm that's wrapped up in bandage and gauze, that only lost me an arm and lost me one of my most trusted advisors and friends to whatever afflicts him.
I may be able to help with your arm.
I am aware of your capabilities, Mr. Rona. And if you are willing to make a prosthetic for now that is serviceable, I would appreciate it. You may need to consult my doctor as he looks over to his wife.
I will at the lady's behest.
We can, and you'll just see her smile. We can talk about that later, Mr. Rona. I know this is our first meeting, and I wish it was more. Our meeting was more in a official stance, and maybe in the throne room or over a nice dinner. Unfortunately, the tides of fate, or the teeth of a giant dragon thought once lost to history, said otherwise. But regardless, we are here now. And you'll see him kind of sit up and swing his legs out from underneath the blanket. And sit up straight in the bed. And you'll see him kind of hunch over. Definitely tell he's more in a weakened state than most men are. But he'll kind of catch himself and put his hand on the bed. And he'll kind of guide himself to his feet. I have a formal request, not only as the king of Sylvania, but also as a son of this great city, and also as its protector. There is a means to an end that I am incapable of achieving myself. As you can see, I'm not in the best of shape. And even if I was in the best of shapes, it'd be hard to do alone. And he'll stand up he'll stand nice and tall, and he is very tall for a human. Now that he stands up, he's probably encroaching closer to 6'10 or 6'11. There is an item that is a myth, but it's the only lead we have to get that man, and he'll point at Leon, and myself, and many other injured people in this fine city, back to fighting shape and to where we can potentially drive this horde of lizards out of my city. No offense, and he'll look right at you, Vaten.
I was going to say, no facial expression change, just a nod.
There's, out of curiosity, have any of you ever heard of a gem called the Core Deorum? I'd like Zane, Elka, and Thaddeus, as well as Beep. Wrong character. I was thinking it was like, no, Lara wouldn't know it, and then Lexi's other character's name is Bean, so brain doing oopsie. Beep. I'd like all of you to roll a history check.
Bean would probably be a bard that plays a horn of some sort,
Bean is a
in my estimation.
Bean is a Kenku bard that plays, I think, of kazoo. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think she has a drum. Um,
God
all of you
damn.
rolled. Elka, you would have heard the name before. And Beep rolled a 5, so he has no idea what it is. But Elka, going off of, and Zane with a 14, I mean, it's not like it's hidden knowledge, but it is from a time that is pre-fracture. Elka, you would know the name in the sense that you've heard it before. You know that it's a gem of great importance that was once hidden away by the 5 great dwarven kingdoms, but you don't know what it does, its true purpose. You've never heard anything about that. You've also never heard of how they were made or where they came from. The king will look at all of you and kind of recognize the recognition of the name from Elka and Zane. But he'll look at Accordeorum is a set of 5 precious gems believed to be imbued with divine energies of the Renatus, which, for those of you who are unaware of the Pantheon and the rules of the world, the Renatus are those of the creator gods that are considered the redeemed. Also known as the creator gods that chose to fight along humanity during the fracture instead of fight against it. They are said to be created. They were said to be created by the legendary dwarven smith Osnit Embern about 25 years prior to the fracture, and they were seen as a goodwill or a good graces from the Peacebringer, Eldath. These gems, these Cor Deorum, loosely translate to the heart of the gods. According to legend, these gems have the ability to restore someone fully with just one touch. They also have the ability to regrow limbs, cure diseases, maybe even brings back someone from the dead, maybe even someone from a coma. It is rumored that Osnick gifted these 5 gems to each of the 5 dwarven lords to hide within their great halls of stone. Their actual whereabouts are either strictly guarded, lost to history, or just plain out unknown. I am unaware of where one of these lie, although I can only take a guess. To the north side, and he'll kind of point to the map. There's a world map sitting curled up on the table. To the north side is the Rania Trench of Fleur. It lies within the Badlands of Zagros. And I'm aware of a dungeon, if you could call it that stretches for miles. And my theory is that those very dungeons are connected with one of the last great dwarven keeps and home to one of the original dwarven lords. The place that you potentially be going to is named Arendur. It hides within the northern Alps of the Anacharus Mountains. However, there's rumors that the caves of Rania are connected to their great halls. And many believe that great riches lie within those caves. And I am one to believe that potentially one of these Cordeorum may lie within that cave. Or it could be under lock and keep by the dwarves of Arendor, but your guess is as good as mine. Rosalor, you stated that you had once studied these gems, correct? And you'll see Rosalor kind of like peek up. Yes, sir. I had done a fair amount of study on these gems, but most of the study come from stories of hearsay, and most people don't even recognize that these were created and these are just myth. But if it exists, it could turn the tide of what's going on here in Artemis and across Sylvania or across the world. A gem that has the ability to heal all wounds, cure all diseases, maybe even bring people back from the dead. At the very least, it'll help us in our fight against these dragons and driving them out of our city. And you'll just see the king kind of hold up his left arm. And just kind of hold at him to calm down a little bit. I'm aware that these gems may just be myth. But if you were to, say, go and find me one of these gems and follow the trails that were once forgotten, I don't even know how I'd be able to pay you. I'm aware you all do work for coin. Yes?
Well, most people do.
Understood, but there are certain people out in this world that do work, dangerous work for coin. I can't guarantee your safety on this. I can't guarantee anybody's safety anymore.
With all due respect, sir, life can't guarantee any safety. Every day you walk into a maze and not know whether you'll finish it and come out at the end. Some of us not only work for coin, but we work for knowledge.
And you're very right. Well, I have an official request from the throne of Sylvania. I have multiple requests, and if you'd like to speak on them in private and think about what you'd like to do, that is perfectly fine with me. I'm not going anywhere. As he kind of sits back down on the foot of the bed. But the first mission is to follow the trails, whatever trails can be found with Rosalor's help, and the full extent of the knowledge of this library, into figuring out where to find one of these Cordeorums. If you successfully find this gem, not only will I pay you as much gold as I can muster, I'm even willing to give you all of you lordship if you want it.
Well, I'm not from here. That's not really worth it in my case.
It's no matter. If you are a sworn in noble of this country, you gain free passage through all checkpoints throughout the country. You gain free passage into every city that has a toll. And you gain power that you didn't once have, going to other countries and potentially going for other work. You can flash the fact that you're a noble of Sylvania, and they all of a sudden will trust you a little more. The other thing I'm willing to offer is a keep.
Go on.
Interesting.
A keep that can be built anywhere within Sylvanian territory, and the rightful deed will be signed over to all of you. You can use this as a home base of operation. You could use it as you could sell it. But along with this keep and a lordship granted to all of you, you will also be granted vast amounts of land around said keep, if it is within our purview.
Alrighty.
Other thing I can offer, and by the request of Rosalor, is access to all knowledge that is kept within this library. Stuff that not even most people know exist. If you find this gem, all of that can be yours.
Now we are on the same page.
Now, I cannot offer you anything more than what is right in front of me. When it comes to gold, along with the keep, the title, and the knowledge, as Mr. Starling expertly put, the tone of 10,000 gold pieces per person, as well as all of the things I just stated, would be nothing if you found this gem. But if it's too much to ask, too much to ascertain, and with too little time, I understand if you say no. I do have other options that you could take. Someone needs to find that man, that dragon rider, and I'd be willing to pay you to find him.
Oh, we almost killed him.
You almost killed him.
He luckily got away.
Interesting. So his armor can crack.
My arrow or bolt literally was centimeters away from his demise.
Yes, he got very lucky to even get away from us, but such is life.
Then maybe you're all more capable than I originally thought.
That I would agree with.
If you chase him down and find him, if you kill him, I'll pay you 3,000 gold per person.
How about 4?
Make a persuasion check. Three for a dead man's head is all I can offer.
They are hurting, Thaddeus. That's a bit rude.
I understand. Let me just
But
confirm one thing with you, my lord, sir.
and what would that be?
As I have told you, I am with the House of Auburn.
Okay.
They are to know nothing of my presence, my whereabouts, or who and what I am serving at the moment.
I kind of understood that from one look at you.
The only individual, and I will write his name on parchment, that I will give you permission to know of my existence is a man named Noetic.
That can be arranged.
Also a noble from the House of Auburn.
Very well. I am not. I'm not really worried about what the reward is going to be. However, if you bring him in alive, 10,000 gold per person.
Ooh. I'm not gonna lie, that may be extremely difficult.
Hence why the jump in pay.
What if we bring him in just with DNA?
I don't know how a strand of the man's hair will do any good.
I'm talking about his head.
Well,
3,000.
then he would be dead. So 3,000.
And alive is 4.
10.
10.
10. Oh.
10 per person. Your other option, which I can tell by the body language of your large friend, may be more tempting. Per young dragon slayed in the city, I offer 1,000 gold pieces per dragon. Per adult dragon slayed, I offer 2,000 gold per dragon. Per ancient dragon slayed, I offer 4,000 gold per dragon. And that's not per person, that is per dragon. That offer stands until all of these dragons are gone. If I'm being honest with you, I hope you think diligently and thoroughly through these options. There are other things that need to be done, however, I have other people that are willing to take on those jobs. These, on the other hand, I find are more up your alley. But correct me if I'm wrong.
This one would prefer not to hunt the great ones.
Yeah, the gem seems pretty up our alley.
Well, no need to make your decision now. I have been notified that you're looking for some rest, and he kind of looks at you, Vaten. Looks at all of you.
Yeah, I look pretty rough.
I also look pretty rough.
I can see all of you are.
I just look pretty.
I look pretty alright.
I can see that all of you are a bit banged up from your experience coming into the city. Find anywhere you can rest. Rest for the night. Speak together on what you think you should do. And let me know. Just simply knock on the door. Or have Rosalor guide you here. And I'd be more than willing to speak about it.
This one will spend some time healing others, and in the morning we'll spend some magic to provide food for us, looking at all of the party.
Yeah, that would be appreciated. I've heard that you... Well, I assumed you had some healers in your party, due to the type of work you do. If you're willing to aid our clerics and helping them heal those that are down here, it'd be much appreciated. Anyways, think about it. I'm not going anywhere. Both of you have a wonderful night.
Before I go,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to measure, if you're willing, your arm.
By all means.
That's not his arm.
I'm going
He's
to
got one
push
arm still,
Thaddeus
Thaddeus. You
out
dick.
of the room.
He's got another arm. I would like to match it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Confused.
Go lay down.
Yeah, go lay down.
You brought my family up. I'm a bit shaken.
You'll just hear him whisper under his breath, "Have him killed." No, I'm kidding.
Damn.
Kill that one.
That one, dead. Okay, yeah, so he'll hold out his left arm, and is this all you need?
I'm just gonna do some quick measurements.
Okay.
Take out a little thing and do some drawing quick.
Make a intelligence check, just to see if you I'd say just overall being able to get everything down dimension-wise and being able to make sure that at least the blueprints aren't fucky.
16?
Easy enough. You've done this before. Maybe not measuring a whole arm, but you do understand dimensions and the circumference of an arm and digits and stuff, having to repair Thaddeus's body before. But yeah, so you feel as though you've done everything you can to take down the right measurements and blueprints and whatnot. I appreciate any help you can give me, and I will pay you for that as well.
Yeah, I will have it ready by the morning.
That quick?
It is not as hard as it seems for my type.
Trust me, he's good.
I thought you were gone.
You are gone.
Oh, oops.
Very well. Good day, Mr. Rona.
Good day.
And Rosalor will kind of like follow all of you out. So, all the rooms to your left are pretty much not taken. There's a few that are. Some sick people, some injured people. Please take your pick. There's also the chapel that you can rest in if you'd like to do that. There's also maybe a few couches here and there open for our more larger friends. And he'll look right at Ori. Ori will just kind of nod and give him a thumbs up. Beep will kind of wander off into one of these rooms and just kind of curl up. Or not curl up, but you'll see him start to write on a piece of paper. And as he starts to write it, he will walk out again, walk right up to you, Elka, hand you the piece of paper, and then turn around and go straight back into the room he was in.
I will note.
It says on it, "The gem sounds cool."
Okay.
And
Sounds like Beep's in.
I'm down to find the gem. I'm just gonna waltz off into this room quick, grab a couple of scrap pieces of wood that I can work.
Ander will kind of look at Rosalor, smile at him. "It's good seeing you, old buddy. Those robes don't suit you at all." And Rosalor will be like, "What do you mean?" And Ander will walk off, flipping him off behind him. And
Is
he'll
there more to that comment?
make an insight check.
I just did. 19.
19. You get the sense that Ander and Rosalor have known each other for a while, and there's potentially a time when Rosalor was not exactly the person he is now. You glean from that, but
Okay.
Ander will find an empty bed and pass the fuck out, because he's also really hurt.
Everyone, find a room, and we can meet in the morning.
Ori will give a thumbs up and take Alara and look at you, Alka. Can she stay with you tonight?
Of course.
And he'll hand Alara down to you. And you'll see Ori wander off down the hallway.
I'll take Alara into, and she and I can curl up on the bed together. We should both fit.
And because Nate isn't here, I won't do anything that I know he would do right now, but you will see Ori kind of, if any of you follow him or try to follow him, you'll see him go up the stairs, up into the main library area. And as he does that, one of the paladins will, that old paladin, hey, it's full of water, and Ori, I got this. And Ori will go up the stairs, and you won't see him for a while. At least you won't see him right now. But he's off the map. Rosalor will kind of just like shrug his shoulders and like walk into the what looks to be the war room and sit down at one of the chairs and start talking to one of the paladins who's also sitting there and pointing at a map and stuff.
Before Rustler goes, I'll ask him to point me towards the, somebody, whoever's coordinating healing efforts.
Okay, yeah, he'll point you. Now I don't have tokens for all the injured people. He'll point you to what looks to be a silver-haired, silver-skinned woman who's this around here. Seems to be sitting and reading a book with glasses on. Her arms. See, she has like leather gloves on, and those leather gloves have blood on them. And she seems like she's taken one glove off, and she's flipping pages with her right hand, while her left hand's just kind of resting there. You could clearly see blood on her. She's just going and going. Do you approach her?
Yes.
Okay. She sees you. Oh, hey there. You're new here.
Greetings.
Yeah?
This one's group is passing through. This one has healing magics.
Oh.
He would like to assist.
Oh, please. Yes, that would be wonderful. As you can see, I'm a little messy, and I'm on my break. So please, go right ahead. If you go out this hallway and turn a left, you'll see the chapel, and there's quite a lot of people there that could use your help. There's some that are probably already dead, unfortunately. But I did my best. I'm a cleric, but not that good of one.
This one will do what he can.
I appreciate it.
And for literally I think only time, because I'm very cautious of spell slot usage, I'm going to dump all of my spell slots into healing spells to help
Okay.
as many people as possible.
How many spell slots is that? Just out of curiosity.
Total or by level?
So Cure Wounds is a level 1 spell, yeah?
Yep.
Tell me how many each you have.
I say that, and I'm actually not going to dump everything just because as soon as I said that, I was like, that does not feel right. So I'm going to go ahead and dump 3 level 1s, 1 level 2, 2 level 3s, and 2 level 4s.
Okay. So you walk in, and spread out all throughout the chapel are cots close to the ground, like bedrolls, and on them are townspeople. Some dressed in more wealthy-looking clothing, some of them dressed in what you would wear. More of a shawl or a hood over, or rags. Not rags, but like commoner clothing.
Yeah, commoner, yeah.
And you look around and there's probably about 40 people in here. And some of them are... Make a general perception check for me. Even though your passive perceptions and say, nah, yeah, that's why. You are able to expertly figure out which person needs which. Without any issue, just by glancing at them with that natural 20 perception. You're looking around and you see a kid who has cuts and scrapes all over him. He's kind of bleeding. You pump a level 1 into him and he seems to be fine. You see an elderly gentleman who's still breathing, definitely shallow of breath. You got to pump a level 4 into him and then immediately brings him back up to where he's feeling better. You look straight at this older woman who's just sitting right next to him, and you could tell that she is dead. She seems to have passed away in her sleep. So you skip past her, and eventually you find your way through, healing those that you can, notifying... Well, would you notify people of the deceased?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, notifying
And it's gonna be pretty brutal as far as like that one is dead,
Yes.
and then just move on.
Yeah.
Like
Notifying the few clerics that are in the room, trying to trying to keep people calm, and their bedside manners are significantly better than your own. But
yeah,
you're
expected.
you're there to help in the most blunt way possible. But you're able to heal people, and the older man that you would have healed with a 4th level looks up at you. Thank you. And he'll just kind of like...
Of course.
He'll look over at the woman, nod his head slightly, and put his hand on her hand. And he'll seem to like fall backwards, but lay backwards into his bedroll and fall asleep. But you're able to heal a good amount of people. It's definitely helpful, specifically with the resources and the people that are there. You get the sense that there's maybe 3 or 4 clerics total that are helping these people.
Oh, okay.
And eventually the woman, the gray-skinned woman, will walk over and she'll just kind of look at, well, thank you very much. That's really, really nice of you. What was your name, friend?
This one is known as Vaten.
Vaten, pleasure to meet you. My name is Sheila. Good to meet you. I'm a cleric of the Peacebringer. And she'll like look over, and I see you've determined that some of them have unfortunately passed away. We will take care of their last rites, and I appreciate your help. You should get some rest.
Of course.
And she'll walk in and start dealing with the last rites of those that have passed away, and it's sad. I mean, to the level of emotions that you're capable of dealing with, because Vaten is a fairly closed off individual sometimes. You did see a few children that were deceased. And
that would be the only thing that even came close. Like,
yeah,
he would like get an eye twitch, and that's about it.
You immediately understand that death is is very common right now, and it comes to all that gets in its way. And unfortunately, that means the lives of someone who barely even have lived their lives. But you walk your way out and rejoin any of your friends that are sleeping. And all of you, unless anybody wants to do anything before you bed down for the night, then we will go ahead and fast forward to the next day, and all of you can have your long rest. Except for Ori right now.
There's one thing I'd like to do.
Okay.
Who has the stone to the Our Lady in red?
I believe Leon has it or had it.
Leon had it.
You know, if you'd like to ask Rosalor about it, I'm sure he'd be. I mean, that would be your best bet, given that Leon is currently not able to speak.
Yes. Master Leon was holding a stone that allowed us to speak with somebody who may be of assistance.
I can check
I
his.
call her the Lady in Red.
Oh yes, he told me about that one. That's the dragon, the dragon girl up in Arun, correct?
Indeed.
Yes.
As Zane
Can you
pops his head in.
Can you obtain that for us so we may be able to communicate with her
I can
as she may be of assistance?
check his personal belongings and go check his office. Let me give me some time, and he'll wander off. Eventually, it'll take him about an hour to find what he's looking for. Yeah, about an hour. And kind of looks around, and he walks in, and in the hand is a familiar sending stone that Zane once created. And he'll kind of like hand it over to you. This was in his office, and he had it in a drawer. But he didn't seem like it'd been used in a while. But here you are.
That's fine. We will use it to the best of the ability for the community that we can.
I appreciate it. I am gonna go find a bed to sleep in. You have a good night. And he'll
Master Zane,
stand up and walk away.
Yes.
I'm going to return this to you. You seem to be the best one that had a relationship.
I am the one who made it.
Drastically checks notes to remember her name.
Edna.
Thank you. Yeah, I just found it. All right.
I'm thinking she may be of assistance in this whole endeavor.
Well, I don't know how much she would know. She's kind of stuck to where she is, you know.
Is she stuck, or does she just not want to?
She's cursed, my guy. She cannot leave the cave.
Something tells me that she could come out if she really wanted to.
I mean, she tried with us when we left.
Coming out is something that takes courage.
You would know.
So would your uncle.
Not my uncle? You mean Elka's?
Yes, yes.
My friend?
Your friend, your father, your sister, your
mother.
mother, your dog, boom, boom. Oh, I'm going to stop right now.
So are you gonna use the stone and contact Edna?
I can see what's up.
Okay. And what do you say? Remember, this is only a one-time use per day.
I know.
You have 25
Something.
words.
Edna, I hope all is well. Hope, you wouldn't happen to know anything about other dragons, would you?
Mention the color.
Okay.
Blue.
That's 20. It's 22.
Need help.
She'll understand from that.
Finish.
It takes about
Don't say that. She's a young girl.
It takes about 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, she's very old.
But she has the mind of a young girl.
It takes about 15 minutes for there to be any response. And then all you hear back is, Zane, is that you? Oh my gosh. I have so much to say. We haven't said it. We've talked to each other in a while. I really don't know. Dragons, this was buried under some gold. You should come see me. That would be, and that's all you hear.
Damn it. I think she has OCD. Or wait, no, autism.
ADHD.
Yes,
ADHD.
thank you.
Yeah. ADHD is just diet autism, right?
Squirrel.
That's what TikTok told me.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have both anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're all just a little neurospicy.
Just a little, yeah.
Narrow spicy. I like that.
Anyways, do all of you, after
I
hearing
did
them,
forget one thing
what's up?
that I wanted to do. I wanted to look for a jar of some kind. And I would like to look for spiders around the place.
Roll an investigation check.
Hey.
There you go. At least someone's rolling okay tonight.
Me.
Yeah, it takes you some time. A jar is easy to find, given that used for preserving foods and whatnot.
Mhm.
Takes you some time to find a spider.
Actually, two jars if I could.
Yeah, easy enough.
Yeah, and then I'm also looking for any centipedes if I happen to stumble upon them.
Centipedes or spiders? You said two things.
Exactly. I'm looking for both.
Gotcha. Centipedes, no. Not in the subterranean, essentially dungeon.
I'm guessing I won't find wasps or scorpions down here either, so I'm
Too-
okay with that.
Too wet of a climate for scorpions. But
Yeah.
you do find a spider. What looks to be a smaller orb weaver that's just kind of in the corner, making a web. But you're able to easily capture that thing and put it into a jar. But it is you caught a spider.
Okay, I'm looking for 3 of them if I can find them. If not, I will be okay with 1.
With the 20, and given the proximity of how small this area is down here, it's a fairly large base of operations, but it's still a subterranean area. That one spider with a 20 is really all, even after searching around every corner and everything, that's really all the only one you can find for right now.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, with all that, Vaten running around healing, then running around trying to find a spider in jars, and all of you do bed down for a long rest, and you wake up in the morning, and it's very quiet down here. You hear snoring, you hear footsteps, the occasional chatter. But the day is yours. You have things to discuss. You have people to talk to, and potentially dragons to fight. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I'm gonna deliver the arm I made for the king first
Okay.
before anything.
So you just go up and knock on the door.
Yep.
You knock on the door, and immediately you see the door just open by itself, and you see the queen looking. She just smiles at you, and you see her hand kind of bring the door a little bit more open. Can I help you?
Yes, I am here to deliver peace for the king.
He's still sleeping.
It's all right. I can just do my thing while he's asleep.
That's what she said.
I'm gonna fucking punch the face. No, I'm just kidding.
The Peacebringer will smite him, and you see a lightning bolt smack down through the
building. Oh!
and hit Thaddeus straight on top of the forehead. Thaddeus takes 85 damage. No, I'm kidding.
Rolling characters.
If you could do it without waking him up, it's perfectly fine.
I can. I just need you to remove the bandages from the stub.
She'll smile and smirk a little bit, and she will use a mage hand to gently. How gently? We'll figure it out. Very gently. She just rolled 19 on dexterity check. Unwrap the bandages with her mage hand. and she'll just grab him and drag him. Let me make sure it's not infected, and she'll like walk over and you'll see her cast a spell that you've seen Vaten cast a few times, and you'd recognize that as a lesser restoration in the general area. And then you'll also see another familiar spell, and it'd be another Cure Wounds on him. And she'll look at him, and he'll start to wrestle, and she'll be like, shit. And she'll cast another spell. You don't recognize this one, but you'll see him start to wrestle, and then he'll just go and lay backwards and be very asleep.
Good.
But she will then gesture over to you, and she'll like use her mage hand to like pull up the sleeve of his robe. Go ahead.
All right.
We don't need
I'm
to-
going to.
We don't need to whisper anymore. He's going to be asleep for a while.
I'm going to attach the prosthetic arm.
Okay. Make a dexterity check with advantage because you've done it before.
That's not bad. 15.
15. It's serviceable. You're able to attach it to him in a fairly quick manner. The queen looks at you. It's very well made. He mentioned he'd pay you. I don't know how.
He did.
I don't know how the fool will pay you. He doesn't have any money here. Let me figure something out. And she'll walk over, and she'll like, you'll see her like pull up a looks to be a gem in her hand. And she'll like speak into it. Rosalor, you're needed in our chambers. Can you come here, please? And you won't hear anything back. But you'll hear the quick footsteps of Rosalor running towards the chamber. And he'll just like step in. Yes, my lady. Yeah. Can you make sure that can you use that fancy magic you have to grab some gold for this fine young man? Yes. I assume you want me to use my hidden chest spell. Yes, that'd be the one. That's the only one that can hold gold. Am I right? Yes. And you'll see him make some arcane gestures in the air, and you'll see what looks like a incorporeal chest open up, floating in the air, and he'll reach down into it. And how much were you thinking of paying, Mr. Rona?
It's really almost not necessary, but like 200 gold would be fine.
And she'll look, and she'll wink at Rosalor, and he'll pull out. You'll see him like fiddling with stuff inside this chest, and he'll pull out a bag and hand it to you. That should do. He'll drop it in your
Thank you.
hand. You take a glance at the bag. It's probably about 400 gold.
Okay.
You can spend time to count it, but you just glance at it, knowing it'd be rude to sit there and count each individual coin as in front of the person who just paid you. And is that everything, Mr. Rona?
That's perfectly fine. Yep, we're good.
Good day. I look forward to hearing your answer. And she'll kind of lean back in bed and kind of shoo Rosalor out. And he'll walk, and the door will shut behind you. As the days move on, or as the day moves on, you all will hear, "What the fuck?" And you'll see Ori come stumbling down from soaking wet, with water. You look at him, and you can see that his axe and his glaive are scarlet red, covered. And Ori will walk up to all of you and be like, "Hey,
You good, bud?
I just needed to deal with some urges.
Looks like
Can I
it.
tell what kind of blood that is?
Make a perception check. Actually, nature check.
Nature?
Nature. Holy shit! It's dragon blood.
Okay.
you look at it. Oh, he just went berserk. Gotcha.
Fair.
Oh, wait, don't we get money for that?
Where you do?
Yes,
I kind of
we do.
impulsively threw them in the lava.
Well, we still get money for it.
I don't know. I just think those three dragons out front. They kind of pissed me off. So
Did anybody see you do it?
I don't know. I'm fucking tired, and he's just gonna like walk. You look at him. He's beat to shit.
Oh, sure.
He is hurt. And he's just gonna
Well, I'll
I'm going to
because
bed.
I needed to do it anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Good Berry and hand him a Good Berry for a whole 1 HP of healing. But more importantly, so give one to everybody in the party, such that we are not costing these people any sort of food ration or anything like that.
Understood. Or he will kind of give you a half-ass thumbs up, look at Alara, smile, pop the berry in his mouth, and then go, and you immediately start hearing rumbling of snores coming from the room he walked in.
Oh, yeah.
Make a perception check for me, Vaten. Just, I'm curious. You've been rolling, why? Holy shit. 17's still pretty good. As you walk in, you notice there's blood on him as he's sitting, as he was, there's blood on his weapons, but there wasn't blood on his fur. You get the sense because he swam down through a water pool to get down here. Any blood that was on his fur got washed off. But as he's walking away, you notice blood gashes on his back and burn marks.
Sure.
And he's, has his own blood starting to come out of him, but he pops the berry in his mouth, and you start to see just a little bit of that blood start to go away. But he walks in, goes to sleep. But anyways, the day goes on. If all of you are, there's still some discussions that need to be had. There's other things that need to be done. Other than the discussions, is there anything else anybody wants to do down here?
I'm gonna ask everybody else if we're staying for another day, and then dump a bunch of magic into supplies and healing.
No, I'm fine with that.
I too am fine with staying one more day.
You look
This
at
one has no opinion. This one just wants to know before we leave, so this one does not waste any
Ander, and he
time
kind of
nor spells.
he kind of like throws a thumbs up. We're kind of here until the lily gets repaired, anyways. So
Good to know.
until I hear back from Alex, we don't have to be here, but we can.
We still should use our resources to do the best we can to help them protect themselves.
Do what you want to do. I'm here if muscles needed, and he's gonna like thumbs up and lay back in the bed he's sleeping in.
We also should probably come up with a game plan for finding this jewel.
And you'll hear
Indeed.
You'll hear Ander. The ship's yours if you want it. I don't know if it'll be able to fly in time.
You are captain?
Of course. I'm the captain. Yes, that's.
Do we know
Well,
what the estimated time for repairs will be?
It depends on how long they had to go. I don't know. All I know is that the ship was, when I looked at it, the ship was at probably 50% in working order. If I'm basing it off of repairs that I've had in the past, depends on how far away it is and who's doing the repairs. It could be a couple of days. It could be a couple of weeks. I really don't know what cities are destroyed or what towns are destroyed around here that have the ability to, host a skyship for repairs. It's not exactly a very well-traveled hobby in the world.
Unless you're an Ebrax, I suppose.
Well, they're an example, or they're an exception, I guess, of what the world could be like if we decided to use the sky to our advantage. But for some reason, maybe it's lack of technology, maybe it's lack of willingness. Not a lot of cities and towns have skyports. It's kind of frustrating.
Indeed.
But I can check in with Alex and see what town or city they stopped in, and hopefully we'll be able to get out of here via my ship. If not, we're gonna have to find a way out ourselves. I don't see us staying down here for weeks. Do you?
I don't think they have supplies for us to stay here for weeks.
It also sounded kind of urgent to me. I hardly know this Leon guy, but I do know Rosalor, and he's, if anything, is just gauging from that conversation yesterday. They probably want us to make our decisions pretty quickly.
Well, I think we're all decided on doing the thing.
Oh, want to do the thing? So the jewel thing? All right.
Yep.
I suppose our other option is we could fight our way out of the city and procure a wagon or some sort of ground travel to at very least, because we're gonna be if we're going to the Rania Trench, can't fly skyship down into that.
It is true. We could fly at least towards it, though.
We could.
It'd save us time because these people seem short on it.
Yeah. I can rush repairs to the best of my ability, and even if it's not fully repaired, if we're not trying to make a landing inside the trench, maybe I'd be able to, maybe we'd be able to fly at half speed, at the very least, to get to like Anaric or maybe one of the southern port towns. I doubt Monmouth is going to be able to host us. They're kind of a bunch of squares. Elven
Aranic should be close enough to get us where we need to go.
Yeah, Monmouth is full of a bunch of elvish pricks anyways. No offense to you, Thaddeus. Just
None taken.
They're
bitch.
a scholar city, and they are fueled with bravado and a superiority complex that could rival Ebrax's. So,
Speaking of which, never mind.
Don't even get me started, boy.
but that's fine. I'll check in with Alex today, and hopefully, at the very least, they can repair the crystals. If they can repair the crystals, the ship can fly. If the deck has a hole in it for a while, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there if someone falls through. My only concern is we would have to travel across that bridge, or, wait, Anaric's on the other side of the bridge. We will have to go over the bridge in the skyship, and that's a big no-no. At least...
What's wrong with the bridge?
There's... every time I've flown over the bridge, I've gotten shot at.
What?
Don't know. Don't know who controls the bridge. Don't know if it's one of the king's people. Don't know if it's a band of pirates. Who knows? Every time I've flown over, going from like, oh, jeez, Ebrax down to, say, the Razor Shell Islands, like that area, I have to pass over the bridge, and every single time I've had harpoons and bolts like giant ballista bolts shot at my ship. So, may have to avoid that. And Anoric's not exactly the nicest city to anybody. Kind of a frontier city. But if it's where we have to land, it's where we have to land. But that is up to you guys. I'll do what we gotta. Because this looks like a job being done for the greater good, and I'm not used to doing that type of work.
Well, neither are we, but, sometimes it is thrust upon you.
It's never thrust upon you. Almost never.
In situations like these, it is.
Okay. Well, you're lucky I like you guys.
Lucky?
Yes, you'd be trapped here with that airship if I didn't like you.
Oh.
We'd be fighting our way out if it wasn't.
So,
Never mind. I'll just shut my mouth.
you guys do what you got to do. We may need help, don't you think? I mean, we have the library's resources, but muscle. I mean, is there anybody you know of other than that Shrimpy that you once knew, Aiko? Is there anybody else you guys know that could help us in this quest?
Well, it depends how much help you think we need.
We're traveling into one of the... They said the Caves of Rania, right? Like the Rania Trench? That place?
Yes.
I
I
don't...
would always call my brother.
I could make a really stupid decision on my part.
How so?
Well, I could die.
What?
Now, hear me out. It seems crazy, but it would get back up here. Of the stronger variety.
Yeah, but you'd be dead.
I could potentially be revived.
All right, so let me get this straight. He's kind of like confused. Let me get this straight. You want to die?
It would summon a friend. Well, not so much friend, creation of mine.
So, right. So you made a automaton?
Yes.
Okay.
It activates when I die.
Okay. And you want to bet the chances of a revival spell bringing you back?
I've had worse ideas in my life, to be fair.
I think this is a bad idea.
I mean,
This one agrees.
I'll kill you if you want me to.
I'm not wishing for death, but
I mean, if we're
I mean, I
figuring
feel
out-
like one of us should be the, to do it right.
I'm with Bunny Ears there.
Excuse you.
pretty rude.
I'm just being honest.
Have a name.
I'm sorry, Elka.
Just say you guys have known each other for like a couple months now. Like, even I know her name. Anyways, I don't know much about that trench. All I know is that every single time I've been there, which has been very few times, I've almost walked out dead.
And who did you call upon not to walk out dead?
Myself, my crew. There's a lot of treasure in that trench. And
Okay, and where's your crew?
getting the ship repaired.
Indeed.
Well, maybe they should change their perspectives.
If you are asking me to put my crew's life in danger for the greater good, they'd laugh at you.
Okay, how fast could your brother get here?
I don't know. I honestly don't have a good way of contacting him or my uncle. Do you have any way of reaching Archer?
Not a good way. Beyond going to Arun.
You want
Usually, if I want to contact Archer, he contacts me first.
Wait, whoa. Arun? Time out. Time. I know this is where I picked you guys up from. You want to go back to that hellscape?
No, we do not.
No,
We have people there we want come here and help us.
Well, how... as far as I'm concerned, no one knows where Arun is right now.
I mean we've
In
been
the
there
sky.
somewhat recently.
We
Yes,
have ways
but
of communicating with them.
Right.
No, we don't.
But-
I mean, we one person there at least, though she's not readily available outside of a cave.
He kind of like looks at you again. I don't know what you guys got yourself into before you met me.
A lot.
Clearly. But there's one problem with Arun, is that no one ever knows where it is because it's always flying through the sky. And sometimes it disappears for years.
We could always go touch the tree.
So, the what?
I mean, it's how we got there in the first place. I don't know if it's still enchanted since, killed the guy that enchanted it, I assume. But
We would have to get out of that godforsaken cave again.
at least we know where we're going.
Edna did seem to want to talk to us and see us.
It would be nice to see her again.
I would say to all of you that you do what you want, but just know that my ship will not be going to Arun, because the last time I went to Arun, my ship nearly got destroyed.
We just need you to take us back to that village that I forgot the name of that we were at before.
Oh, Keister?
Yeah, that place.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to... Suppose it'd be nice... If it's still around, I mean, you saw those towns around here.
Yeah, it feels like we did a whole lot of nothing for them at this point.
They have their kids back, but there are no adults really to take care of them. But
Well, kids are back, but also there's a bunch of dragons destroying everything,
right.
I doubt they had much better luck on that surviving a dragon attack without the adults,
We'd also have to
Well-
go back into the Blackrun Forest. And that's a no-fly zone for me, ever again.
I think
you
we just
fly
need to
over?
determine if there's any assets available there.
Or we could talk to Alan.
Oh yeah,
He may be willing to help.
that Furbolg fellow you guys that was with you. I mean, by all means, if you wanna stop by Keister, I suppose I'll do it. But
It's worth a shot. Alan might be able to help us, and he's should be available.
I mean, it's not the worst plan, and it might be the only one we got. He was if I remember correctly, he was a healer, wasn't he?
I wouldn't say healer's a loose term.
He could heal.
He can also deal a lot of damage.
Right. My problem is, so even if we find this Allen fella, we have to wander back into the Blackrun Forest, which is not that big of a deal, but the place creeps me the fuck out. And then who else is there? I mean, like, where the fuck did Aiko go?
I mean, Aiko would also be in Keister.
Would he?
He lives there. Or around there.
We don't know where Echo went. I mean, I liked Echo, but let's be honest, he disappeared.
Okay. Listen, I'll go where you need me to go, but keep in mind that chances are you're gonna be doing it on a half-fixed ship.
I mean, Keister's not that long of a journey by ship.
No, from
I'm
here
sure we could manage.
from here it's a 2-day trip. So it's not that big of a deal at all, even traveling fairly slow. My problem is that the Blackburn Forest and honestly the Haverlow mountain range in general is filled with creepy shit.
Oh, we are aware. We've dealt with it before.
Listen, I'm more than willing to run right into the teeth of bullshit with you guys. But there's some limits that I put on myself. And all I'm saying is, if you want to stop in Kaiser and go find this Allen guy, maybe find Aiko and check in there, I have no problem doing that. But I am not going into that city, that town.
That's fine.
So it'll be a hot drop.
We'll manage.
Okay. Well, that's what you want to do. We can go do it. So I guess we have our decision. We're going to hear what they have to, or hear what that, what Rosalor has to say. Any knowledge he can find and muster from the library about where to find this thing. And once we figure out general area, we go find people that can help us in our endeavors. And then we go try to find a gem that people think didn't even exist. Just want to...
Yep, seems likely.
Just
I mean,
want to confirm what we're doing here.
I mean, it doesn't seem like the worst idea. Laura said she's met a god.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are starting to question what I got myself into when I accepted that job to pick you up on our end. I'm here. We're gonna do this. We'll do this. Greater good. Haha. Fuck us.
Just remember, I'm the greatest good you're ever gonna get.
He'll just raise an eyebrow at you. You can talk to the king and accept the job all you want. We're gonna be here until the ship can be here, or we can, if we want to try to sneak out past dragons. I mean, clearly the big fucking guy, Ori, clearly he's all about killing dragons because that's what he did, very clearly. I'm kind of jealous. I want to go kill dragons.
Go for it.
You know, I may go do that. Blow off some steam. Help the populace out. Maybe make some gold while I'm at it. And he's gonna like stand up and walk towards the stairs and disappear. So, all of you have figured out what you want to do. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you reconvene with the king?
Nope.
Okay. So you catch up with Rosalor, and Rosalor has since walked out and guides all of you back to the room. Knocks on the door opens quietly, and you do see King Xavier sitting there up in his bed, testing out his new prosthetic. Looking at his arm, moving his fingers. Puts it up. Oh, I see you're back already. Mr. Rona, this is excellent work.
Thank you.
I hope my wife paid you well.
She did.
Good. By the way, it was 425 gold pieces in total.
Okay.
After you, I assume you took the time to count.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I can grip a sword, I can move the fingers as if it were real. Have no feeling in it, obviously, but it works really well. Where were you from again? I can only assume.
Ebrax.
That makes perfect sense. Whoa. Actually, I just got curious word from them this morning via a sending spell. I had heard from them, and I don't know if you're aware. Ebrax was assaulted by what seemed to be a vampire of some sort.
Yeah, we were there.
Oh, well then you're caught up. Yeah, that's concerning. We have our own issues. But I told the member that contacted me of the council that I would as soon as the city was not in disarray, we would send an emissary there to speak about what to do next, since we are allied and whatnot. This prosthetic is amazing, actually. Might be able to go kill a few dragons myself.
Take it easy on yourself first.
Is it fireproof?
It's like a regular limb, so I wouldn't count on it.
Well, if it's like a regular limb, then nothing to fear. Well, I'm not fighting a great worm anymore, so definitely nothing to fear. And he'll kind of smile and still look a little weak, and meek. Well, apologize. Have you decided on what you'll do?
Yes, we're looking for Rosalor to get some info on where to find the gem.
Very well. I am happy that you're willing to take on such a what seems to be hopeless task. Well, in this case, the full might of whatever knowledge is held within this library is yours to search, yours to sift through. Rosalor, guide them through and help them find anything you can muster about these Cordeorums and where to find them. I mean, the only one I may know of, the only dwarven fort that I know of is Arendur, but there's certainly more hidden throughout the world, probably. Dwarves are hardy people, and they rarely come out of their mountains. So, relationships have been strained with them as of late. So, any diplomatic favors I have with them have certainly dried up. So please do your best, and if you find yourself in a perilous mission that has no end to it, it's okay to turn around and come back. I will have someone draft up a official decree of sorts, coming straight from me, that will gain you passage into Anaric. It'll also gain you passage into the trench, if need be. There's a massive toll you must pay in order to enter, but this paperwork should get you into the trench, no problem. But do take your time. Obviously, the library isn't going anywhere. At least, I hope not. And stay as long as you need. Do be careful, though. If you do wander into that library, everything Rosalor has told me, it is an interesting place.
Yeah, we might pick up some help on the way first.
By all means. If you trust them and you feel that they can help you and aid you in this journey, send them my way, and I will be sure to reward them just as much as you are being rewarded. Well, on behalf of all the citizens of what's left of Artemis, and for what it's worth, the throne that no longer exists, but the throne of Sylvania, I thank you. And I look forward to seeing what you find. Very well. If you have any need of anything, any questions from me, feel free to ask. Whether that be protection throughout the city, if you feel as though you need to wander, I could send a few paladins with you. Not many, but they'd be willing to help you, and it might actually help cut down a few dragons here and there, if you do decide to wander out of the dome. A good day. And he'll kind of sit back in his chair and start having a quiet conversation with his wife. Rosalor will kind of like look at all of you. Do we want to get started now?
Indeed.
Very well. And as all of you wander your way back towards the stairs, you peek in. Ori is dead asleep. He is not even on the bed. His back is against the bed, and his head is laying backwards, flat against the bed. And he is snoring, sleeping. You can wake the sleeping bull if you feel like it.
We'll fill him in later.
All right. Well, you'll make your way out into the main library. In front of you is a vast expanse of books and different themed rooms. You see books flying through the air magically. You look around, and this place is a wonder to see. And as you look into this library, hoping to find the next clue on your adventure, that's where we will end tonight's session, because it is getting late. And hopefully we'll be able to get into some more lore-based stuff and some more, depending on the rolls, some information that you guys can find eventually, and hopefully we'll be able to go do some cool shit. I think,
Yeehaw.
Thanks for playing. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you hanging out. I know it's been a kind of a more of an RP heavy session, but we will hopefully be getting into some more action, whether that be people wandering out into the city to fight some dragons, or that's them going back to the Black-Run Forest where this all started, and maybe getting into some shit there. Anyways, I appreciate all of you watching, and I will catch you guys next Sunday. I do have to say, coming up, I believe it will be the last, it'll be the last weekend in May, and going into the first weekend of June. We will not be having a session on May 28th, and we may be having a session on June 4th, but the next week after that, but I need to double check and make sure that my schedule is all good to go. I'm going to be not home for that. I'm going up north to Wisconsin for a wedding, so we'll see where that takes us. But anyways, thanks for hanging out as always, and I'll catch you guys next Sunday. Peace out. Bye.